On-site coverage of the Precious Metals Summit is brought to you by Borealis Mining.
Segun Lawson, welcome back onto the program.
Thank you.
Look, you're President and CEO of Thor Explorations. We had you on the channel, if you remember, I think about 4 years ago at Beaver Creek. So it's been quite a while.
Yeah.
Look, for that reason, perhaps people on the show might not recognise you as much, or they might not understand the story. So to begin with, obviously, let's just dive into. You're a producer. You're up this time last year. I think you're up about 300%. You are producing in Nigeria. You've got a few other assets. Why don't we just give a little bit of flavour as to sort of who you are, where you are at the moment, and then we can dive in.
Sure, glad to. Thor Explorations is a West Africa-focused gold producer. Our flagship asset is the 100% owned Segilola gold mine in Nigeria, where we have been producing now for 3 years. We're now in our 4th calendar year of production. It's a low-cost mine. You know, we produce gold at sub $1,000 per ounce. We're on track this year to produce around about 90,000 ounces, which is bang in the middle of our guidance of 85,000 to 95,000 ounces. And we will do that at a cost of less than $1,000 per ounce. We have no debt. We fully repaid all our debts. We have a balance sheet that continues to grow month on month. Obviously, we're in a very high gold price environment, which is really nice. And, you know, that cash generation underpins our value. However, we do believe we are a growth story. We have upside coming from the Segilola Mine itself, where we've been drilling underneath the pit through the course of this year to some success, to continued success, and that's ongoing. And we have a second project, which is, we believe will be a major catalyst to our value, which is a Douta Project in Senegal.
Yeah.
This is a project which we're wrapping up a preliminary feasibility study for, and this will be the first chance we've had to provide the market with some economics to this project. I think the NPV of this project will be material to our market cap, and this is a project we're not just doing a feasibility study for academic purposes. We have built a mine, we are looking forward to building our second mine, and we want to make that investment decision next year. So that's what's happening in Senegal. And lastly, we're in Côte d'Ivoire, in Ivory Coast, where we picked up an early stage portfolio. We've completed our maiden drilling program on our first license there, the Guitry license. That was a 4,000 meter drill program. I would define what we drilled out there as a discovery, and we're looking to build on that and get that through to a maiden resource. And we've had some extremely encouraging initial exploration results from our Marahui license, which is in the northeast of the country. We're yet to drill that, and that drilling starts imminently.
Nice.
So as a group, we've now come to the end of a rainy season. We have 8 months of drilling ahead of us across all 3 jurisdictions. We're very excited by this, and we continue to do this fully funded from our internal cash flow without any equity dilution.
Nice. Okay. All right. Well, I want to dive into each individual asset and just get a bit more information. But before we do that, you were talking about you got no debt there. You're printing cash at the moment. What does the capital structure look like? How clean is that structure? Are there any warrants outstanding, anything like that?
So yeah, there's about 665 million shares outstanding, and no warrants, outstanding either. So.
And what's the cash in the bank at the moment?
So at the moment we're sitting on, at the end of Q3 we had about just over $80 million. We should finish the year, you know, north of $115 million. Yeah.
150 by the end of the year.
115.
Oh, sorry.
I would like 150.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a big leap up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So well cashed up, and then so the from what I understand, the key strategy at the moment is extend the life on the producing asset. You've then got your projects in Senegal that hopefully will be coming into production over the next couple of years or so, and then you've got these really nice high-grade projects in Ivory Coast, which I was just looking at some of the drill results, look really fascinating. On the producing asset in Nigeria, the current run rate, you've got 90,000 ounces this year, I think another 90,000 next year, and then it starts to taper down a little bit based on current reserves, right? I know you've done some drilling in the meantime though. What's the current understanding of what's underneath the pit? How far do you think you're going to be able to extend it? What more work do you need to do to be able to get a better picture in your brain of how long this could continue?
Yeah. So I think, look, based on just the open pit, that's the mine life. However, you know, we have opportunities to extend the open pit. We found an area to the south, not a huge amount, but and widening the pit, we could probably get another 20 to 30,000 ounces. However, the step change is going to come from underneath the pit, where we have drilled out. We haven't had a resource statement, but we think we're sitting on around about 150,000 ounces at 5.5 grams per ton or so. Internally, we're aiming to probably double that. We have a much better understanding of the structural controls of the gold there, and those drilling programs are ongoing at the moment. So we will be updating the market every, should I say, cluster of drill holes. You've got to understand these are very deep holes that do take sometimes over a week to drill per hole. And we've taken the step of buying our own rigs. We have 5 rigs going there just to accelerate the process. So look, we have continued to find more gold. Our deepest holes have all intersected mineable high-grade widths underneath the pit. We continue to extend this at depth, and we believe that we will extend this mine life based on the drilling we continue to do. We don't have a plan yet to completely stop the drilling. We'll keep going, and hopefully at some point next year we will make that decision to put in a decline through the ore, which will pay for itself, which will also kickstart some earlier underground mining, but also it would give us the opportunity to explore from underneath the pit great as well.
Yeah, that'd be really good. In terms of the mineralogy, from what the stuff that you're finding underneath the pit, is it the same? Would you need to play around with the process plant in any way? Is the met going to be very similar?
The metallurgy is very similar. It's pretty much the same as the same ore body. It's high grade. It's what I would say our constraint is just tonnage, the ability to put the same throughput through the plant as we have in the open pit. So obviously we expect.
But if the grade's higher, you don't need to put so much through anyway, do you?
You don't need to put so much through, but the grade would need to be 3-4 times higher to put in the same, to get the same output. So what we would look to do, hopefully, would be to mine from multiple faces at the same time and have that going through. But we hope we're not just producing from the underground. We are carrying out exploration at satellite pits.
I was going to ask, are there any other satellite pits that you could potentially, even if it is lower grade, get that tonnage up through the plant?
So we've been successful in finding much smaller satellite pits, but very high grade, which would supplement the open pit. We are revisiting them. We're currently drilling 2 of them at the moment to extend the strike length. And hopefully, through the course of the next couple of years, we start to build out our resource inventory. One of the things we're doing with one of the satellite deposits in the south, which is pretty small, is just going through the permitting process, having a mine design completed, and then we look forward to mining that and stockpiling that at the plant just as a test case, so we, should I say, ready for the other ones that come into play.
Well, it's quite nice in a way. You've got 5 drill rigs that you've purchased, and I'm assuming they're going to be weather dependent. They're going to be turning all year, essentially.
Yeah, just constant. Look, we've just come to the end of a rainy season. We have a clear runway ahead of us of at least 8 months in all 3 countries to drill. We'll be allocating probably about at least $8 million per country on exploration, with the ability to go up. And if you look at that, what that means in terms of numbers, we're looking at about 60,000 meters of drilling in each country. So there's a lot of news flow coming. We expect resource inventories to grow in all 3 countries across all our projects. And we're very excited. And like I mentioned earlier, doing this, all of this is going to be self-funded as well.
Nice. Just looking onto Senegal. So this is a development project that you have. You mentioning that you're releasing a PFS. When are you thinking that the PFS should be ready? I think you're going to release a new resource statement along with that as well. What could that look like?
Yeah, so we're finalizing the PFS as we speak. We're looking to press release that before the end of the year. It will have an updated resource and reserve. We're hoping to land somewhere with around about a 10-year mine life with where we finish. We are doing a very detailed PFS. It's something we're looking to fast track to the investment decision, and even start ordering long lead items earlier next year, and fast track through to the bankable stage as well. So this is certainly a project that we are positioning ourselves to build, given our recent experience in Nigeria. We're working with the same EPC contractors that built our mine in Nigeria. They've worked alongside us the entire PFS process, and our mining contractors carried out a number of site visits. And yeah, look, it's the first time we are going to be able to attach some economics to this project. And I think we're looking at landing at an NPV that's very material to our current market cap. And I think that should be a catalyst for shareholder value.
So you're looking at this as almost similar to the project in Nigeria in a way. You're talking about 10-year mine life. What we're looking at, sort of 100,000, 90,000 ounces per year.
Round about 90,000 ounces for at least the first 5 years. Based on the initial design, when we get into the fresh and more difficult metallurgy, that may drop a bit. However, strategically, we've continued to consolidate our land position in Senegal. We've picked up the Douta West license. We've increased our stake in the original Douta license from 70% to 100%. And we just took a position in the Busankoba license, which is also contiguous. That has 30 kilometers of gold and soil anomalies with only a small area tested. So whilst the PFS may show a mine life of 10 years, we clearly have the land position and drill targets to materially grow our resource inventory over the next 12 months or during construction. And I'm sitting here saying that by the time we pour any gold from Senegal, we should have substantially increased our resource inventory in the country. Yeah.
Well, if you're going to be doing 60,000 meters of drilling for the next couple of every year for the next few years, you'd think you would do, yeah. Okay, all right, so that's exciting. So in terms of permitting timelines and potential construction timelines, obviously you're going to be looking to extend Nigeria anyway, but do you think we should really see an overlap of the two assets in production, shouldn't we?
Certainly. And look, I'm ever the optimist as a CEO. I've taken a long-term view in Nigeria. We have sunk costs there with our capital invested there. We have a very well-trained workforce. I see us continuing to hopefully find gold and extending in the long term. So that's just me personally. So I do see these two mines dovetailing and producing at the same time. And, you know, if we look at take a medium-term view over 5 years, I would hope that we already are into construction in a third mine in Côte d'Ivoire as well.
So within 5 years, you say?
That's my hope, yes.
So oh wow, that would be incredible. But in terms of Senegal, how long does the permitting process take? Because I assume you're now thinking about this, right? You've got the PFS out. That's gonna.
Yeah. So we're very advanced in the permitting process. We've done all our baseline studies. We've made all our submissions to the ministry. We've submitted our environmental impact assessment. There's one final action that needs to happen, which is a community meeting to have that fully done. And then it's all about negotiating your convention with the state on your mining license, and we hope that takes probably around about 6 months next year, and hopefully that mine will be fully permitted by the end of the first half of next year.
And then how long do you need to do a lot more of that bankable work to go and build
it?
No,
we'll be running that in parallel. In fact, I think after the preliminary feasibility study, we're confident enough to make an investment decision on the numbers we see. So I think we'll be in a confident enough position to start ordering some long lead items.
But you'll have to do that through cash, right? In terms of actually being able to fund this with some debt as well. Obviously, you had the AFC involved in the Nigerian. You'd think they might potentially want to be involved in Senegal. Do they need to see a bankable feasibility before you can?
Yes, they do, and I think that's one of the advantages of having this strong and growing balance sheet and generating cash. We can be a lot more flexible than we were in Nigeria. Yeah, we can. I mean, at these times of all-time high gold prices, there's a lot of demand for mills, for example, so we can try and put those orders in early. And you say the AFC, they are taking a lot of interest in this project. They have a representative on our board. They're still our largest shareholder, and they worked very well with us to build our project in Nigeria. Yeah. So we will obviously talk to whichever names are out there, but a good starting point is
an existing partner, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. And so in terms of 5 years on Ivory Coast for what are fairly early stage exploration projects at the moment, but again, I guess if you're committed to drilling out this thing 60,000 meters per year, the initial results look quite promising. There's some decent grades over some decent widths here that you've seen already in Ivory Coast, right? So how are you? I guess it is a case of do the next drilling campaign for the next couple of years, and then similar to Senegal, start building out from there, right?
Exactly. And in Guitry, we just done an initial 4,000 meter program. I would classify Guitry as a discovery. Now we'll have to keep drilling that out and then put that into a mineral resource. We've only drilled a small portion of the license where the gold anomalies are. We're now looking to extend the drilling to other parts of the license. Okay. We're also looking at extending these mineralized lenses, which we've defined, remain open. So we're also looking at extending those. And get that to a resource and then fast track that through the study phase. I think one of the things we've demonstrated in Nigeria and in Senegal is like, we don't need to try and drill out a 3-4 million ounce there. I think you can make a lot of money, as a company, landing in that 500,000 to 1 million ounces and then growing from there, getting into cash flow. So we have that in mind whilst we're drilling in Côte d'Ivoire. And that's our first license, our second license in Côte d'Ivoire. We haven't drilled yet, but the initial exploration results are excellent. Probably the best I've seen since I've been, at Thor. 5 kilometers of anomalism defined on a structure in the right type of rocks, and backed up by bedrock mineralization, grading up to 30 grams per ton, in certain areas and along the entire 5 kilometers. So we're excited by this. Very much looking forward to drilling this out. Drilling will kick off later on this month, and results will start coming out to the public in early next year.
Okay, so to be honest, it sounds like you've got a pretty exciting year ahead of you in a way, haven't you? You've got so much progress to be made in Senegal. You've got expansion work to be made in Nigeria. You've got all this juicy exploration work to be done in Ivory Coast. This time next year, where do you want to be? If say we were sitting here again, and I said, okay, what have you achieved in the last 12 months?
Yeah, look, I think first and foremost, continue to generate strong cash flow.
Yep.
So I think next year, if gold prices stay where they are and we perform like we do this year to produce 90,000 ounces, we're looking at a $3,000 margin per ounce. So you add that cash to the cash we generate this year, we're sitting in a very strong position. I think
you might be able to build Senegal with cash alone, might you?
Yeah. Possibly, but not our intention.
Yeah, of course.
And then we have, if we're sitting here next year, I would like to demonstrate that the Segilola Mine life has been extended materially beyond the open pit, and that program is ongoing. And then we'll be well into the construction in our project in Senegal, and hopefully sitting with some stunning drill results in Côte d'Ivoire with at least one maiden resource. Whilst at the same time, we declared a dividend policy earlier this year. That's a minimum of 2 years. So we are continuing to return money to shareholders in a sustainable manner. Yeah.
Mate, amazing. It sounds super exciting 12 months ahead of you. Segun, thank you.
Thank you so much.